right. I think we're live. I don't know. I'm going to say we're live. Are we live? Are we live? Yes, we are. Tom Dimitrovich here. Welcome to Q&A Friday. I am 33 minutes late. Had to go pick the dogs up from spa day. That's what we call it here in the Dimitrovich household. When the dogs go to the groomers to get their bath, and I call it a massage, and they get their nails done. It's spa day. So today was spa day for the dogs. Jake and Maggie are back in the house. Steve Froming, better late than never. Yes. Gotta love it, brother. Steve Froming in the house. So I just got off of the West Virginia chapter meeting of the IAEI. We did a Tuesday and a Thursday session. We had some special guests in helping with the program. We had Mr. Chuck Mello. Chuck was in, and he did a great presentation. I mean, it was really good, in-depth discussion of copper-clad aluminum. And I'll tell you, I learned some things on copper-clad aluminum, on how it's made and constructed. Gustavo Chavez, hey, happy Good Friday for everybody. And thank you for joining. And we got Robert from Omaha. So copper-clad aluminum is an interesting topic. You know, we've been seeing changes this cycle. Panel 2, code making panel 2 made some changes. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go into what do we call that? TerraView. I'm going to go into TerraView and take a look at what Panel 2 did for changes that accommodate copper-clad aluminum. One of the discussion points that we had for, I'll just say it's called CCA, copper-clad aluminum. They have a 10 amp capability. So we have 10 amp circuit breakers. That's nothing new. Panel 10 made some changes to accommodate the existence of a 10 amp circuit breaker, molded case circuit breaker. Panel 2 made some recognition of a 10 amp circuit in a residential home, or dwelling unit or other applications, branch circuits in Article 210 to accommodate a 10 amp copper-clad aluminum solution. We made some changes in 210.12 on arc fault circuit interrupters, because remember, 210.12 and AFCI protection is provided for both 15 and 20 amp circuits. We made a change to add 10 amp in there as well, because the thought process of the copper-clad aluminum world at 10 amps was to go after LED lighting. Remember, LED lighting is a low energy usage. And I'm just getting a little error over here. Not an error. Let me know if I'm not coming through it that good. I just hit a button, you know. So people ask me how long does it take to prepare? And I don't prepare. I'm just telling you like it is. So any case, copper-clad aluminum made some changes in 210.12. I'm just going to take a look in 210.12. I'll tell you what we did. There was nothing in 210.8 that we had to do with copper-clad. 210.12. Here's what we did. And we made the change actually in the first draft. I'm going to go to. All right, 210.12. I could have swore we made a change. It says see Word document, so I'm going to open the Word document. You know, one of the things that when it comes to Panel 2 and 210.8 and 210.12, we do a lot of what we call validable details. I'll tell you what a validable detail is. Whenever you have something that's controversial, let's say, for example, in 210.12, let's say we had expansion like we did this cycle. We have an expansion in 210.12 to bathrooms, and with an enforcement date of January 1st, 25. So we added bathrooms as one of the list items with an enforceable date. Now, what you don't want to happen is if somebody on the panel or if a group of individuals on the panel say, there is no way we want it in bathrooms, and they vote negative on the entire 210.8 12A or B or C, now you lose any of the other changes that you made because they're all lumped into one. So what we do is and many code making panels do this, we'll do what we call a validable detail. And what that does is if that one item doesn't make it, you don't lose all of the other changes. So if you ever hear this, if you ever hear that discussed, what a validable detail is, it's just think to yourself that that must be a controversial topic that the code making panel does not want to lose. Throw out the baby with the bathwater, if you've ever heard that saying. So that's basically what that is. And I know we had 10 amp in here, and I don't see the 10 amps. Let me look at the first draft report. And you can see the first draft report. I don't believe the second draft report is available to everybody. It's just code making panel members. I'm not sure when that's going to get turned on, but it will be, turned on eventually, and you'll be able to see. But even when it is turned on, just keep in mind, you may look in Terra and say, I don't see the changes that we were talking about, and it could be because of just the validable details and things of that nature. So in the first draft, in 210.12, I'm not seeing it there. There it is in B. So it's in B. I was looking at A. In B. There it is. Yes. So in the first draft, and that's solid. That was not contested. It wasn't discussed in the second draft. It's a given. So in 210.12, we have now all 120 volt single phase, 10, 15, and 20 amp branch circuits. And that 10 amp, if when you see this come out, that 10 amp was driven by the fact that we'll have copper clad aluminum branch circuits available in the future, if not immediately. Now the challenge here will be, do we have a 10 amp AFCI? So hopefully the manufacturers will start pumping those out. And where those are only permitted, the other change that we did in Article 210 from a copper cloud aluminum perspective, in 210. Just looking to find the section, basically we prohibit the use of copper clad aluminum on a receptacle. It might be easier in the first draft because we made this in the first draft. So, and it did not change in the second draft. And it would be in 210.23, I think, or 20. It's in the 20s there. So hold on. There it is. Okay, 210.23 is changing. Permissible loads, multiple branch circuits. I'm going to take a look at the second draft meeting. 210.23. There's 210.60. That's what I scrolled a little bit too far. I got too aggressive with the scroll. And all we did in the second draft was just cleaned up the language. We did not make we didn't make any technical changes. We just added, made it read better. So what we're saying on loads permitted for 10 amp branch circuits, lighting outlets. So you can have the lighting outlets. Dwelling unit exhaust fans on bathroom or laundry room lighting circuits, and a gas fireplace unit supplied by an individual branch circuit. So those are what's permitted on 10 amp branch circuits. What's not permitted on a 10 amp branch circuit it says a 10 ampere branch circuit shall not supply any of the following: receptacle outlets, fixed appliances, the beasts are barking, fixed appliances except as permitted for individual branch circuits, garage door openers, and laundry circuits. Listen to them. Jeez. So that's what is permitted and what is not permitted. So in a residential home, you may see lighting circuits on 10 amp branch circuits. So and I'll tell you I have my outside lights. And I'm going to just do this. I have my outside lights. I changed them from incandescent type of lights to LED. Oh, almost broke I dropped my phone and I broke the protector, but not my glass. So that's a good thing. I'm going to turn on my front lights. Now these are my outside lights. And I'll tell you how much current they're drawing. So here's what I have. I have one, two, got one over by the tree, one in the X, one in the other X, and two more. So I got 5 lights lighting up the front of the house. And they're on a 20 amp branch circuit. And that's the only thing that's on that circuit. And I'm drawing 1 amp. 1 amp. So can I get away with a 10 amp circuit on those lights? Absolutely. Now let's take a look at my back lights. Now my back, I changed, or those I did not change. Those are like a little fluorescent tube, I believe. They're definitely not LEDs. And I have, and these go along the sidewalk in the back of the house. So there's one on the corner, 1, 2, 3, 4. There's only 4 lights, and they're like I say, they're not LEDs. 1.73 amps. That's the only thing on that circuit. So I've got 2 20 amp branch circuits. One going to the front of the house, one going to the back of the house. Each of them are only pulling 1.73 amps. I can definitely put that on a 10 amp circuit. Let's see what else I got. The shed. My shed is my those are lights. So these are my shed lights. And there's just 2 lights, and they are 0.1 amps. So anyway, probably rounding error. So in any case, copper clad aluminum. We made the changes in 210.12 to accommodate AFCI. We made these permitted to be used on lighting circuits, dwelling unit exhaust fans, and gas fireplaces. I'm not looking at any comments. Do we have comments coming in? All right, for dwelling unit only branch circuit, then Robert, for dwelling only for branch circuit, for other than dwelling for no, it says 210.23 permissible load multiple branch circuits. In no case shall the load exceed the branch circuit ampere rating. A branch circuit supplying 2 or more outlets. So this doesn't say anything just about dwelling units. So this could be, and it doesn't, yeah, so these are just branch circuits in general. It doesn't matter if it's in a dwelling or a commercial environment, Robert. Are there going to be 10 amp receptacles? No, you're not allowed to put this on a receptacle, and I think I probably answered that question already. So yes, that is, those are the change. And we also changed 210.24. We added a column in there. There's a 10 amp column in there as well, and we made some changes in 210.24. So in any case, I think that's probably the big area of change there that I would I think you might want to be aware of. Any case, so. All right. So what other? So the copper clad aluminum. So Chuck Mello did a great presentation on copper clad. We learned how copper clad aluminum is made, which was kind of cool. Changed the tables. Oh, so in 310, that's a good question, Robert. I think so here's what happened in panel 6, for Article 310, in the first draft for the conductors for general wiring, I believe, let's take a look. See what they added. I'll take a look at the first draft in 310. Because I believe in the first draft they accepted changes to table 310.16, and they did. Okay, so in the first draft they added a number 16. 60 degree C column has 10 amps, 75 degree C column has 15 amps, and the 90 degree C column has 20 amps. Now remember, none of this, this is all still flux. So I'm just telling you what's in process, and anything you hear on my channel is my opinion only, not of NFPA or the code making panel members or anything like that. So keep that in mind. Just telling you what I see, calling it like I see it. And then the other thing was, so they added number 16 for 10 copper. They added a number 14 for aluminum or copper clad aluminum, and that was driven by copper clad aluminum. So a number 14 can handle 10 amps at 60 degree, 15 amps at 75 degree, 20 amps with 90 degree C insulation. So that's the change. Now that was in the first draft, but I think in the second draft, these past meetings, I think they undid what they did in the first draft. I'm just going to double check. Yeah. Oh, hold on. 10, 15, 20, 10, 15, 20, 10, 15, 20. Oh, it looks like that's still in there. 10, 15, 20. So they kept the 10 amps. Applicable only to copper clad aluminum. So it looks like somebody told me that panel 6 did not act favorably on the change, but it appears to me that maybe they did. I don't think that's in the latest verdict. Let me double check my book. Never mind, no receptacles, no problem. No problemski. 310. Yeah, 14, that's new. Yeah, 14 copper clad aluminum is now added for 20, 25, and 30 on 310.17. And 310.16 has 10, 15, 20, and 10, 15, and 20. So it looks like they added that to the tables. I'm not sure. Something did not pass. But, again, we've got to get through ballots and all that jazz. So in any case, all that is good. So we had a great presentation on copper clad aluminum, learned how it was put together. It's really interesting. It's like a cold weld. We learned a lot about the history. Chuck did a great job talking about the history of aluminum and aluminum conductors. I got to get it do another session on IAEI News Live. I don't know if we did that or not, but in any case, all right. So copper clad aluminum. The other thing he talked about was the weight supporting WSCR, I think it is. In 210, we added an exception for GFCIs in 210.8. We didn't add it. We just clarified the exception with the right terminology. And, oh wait, I got a Word document open. Nope, that was 210.12. All right. 210.8. I know we have an exception. WSCR, weight supporting sealing receptacles. And we he did a presentation on the WSCR. And you know what? I pretty much, I understood. I know what they are. And if you're not familiar with them, let me do a weight. See if I can find it online. Weight supporting sealing receptacles. Weight supporting, they're round. I'm gonna look at pictures. I'm gonna try to find a photograph for you. It's they're round, and I don't I did it. I don't know. I'm gonna say round. I'm gonna say round. And I don't know. Anyway, there's a manufacturer. I can't think of the name of the manufacturer, but in any case, they're round. They sort of click together, and we added some clarity there. And I'm looking for the definition because I believe that they added or modified the definition for those. WSCR UVWW weight supporting WWW. Well, I don't see it, but in any case, he did a really good job of helping us understand the use of that product, the ratings of the product, etc. The other guest that we had was Mr. Tim Kraushaar. You've seen him on my channel. We did a presentation or an educational program on interconnected power systems. Tim is he's on panel 2 now with me and others. He was on code making panel 4. He represented the utility industry, represents the utility industry. Mating receptacle for sealing outlets. Mating receptacle for sealing outlets. MATING receptacle for sealing outlets. I don't know if that's going to come up. Nope. Sorry, man. I don't know. They're like around, but anyway, Tim helped. We did a Q&A. So one of the things that we did, we had a code panel. We haven't done that at the West Virginia chapter meeting. And what a code panel is, if you're not familiar with an IAEI meeting, we collect questions from members, and sometimes we use questions from other chapter meetings or other section meetings. I believe we based our questions on a Western section meeting. And we get real world type of questions, and we take those questions and we give them to the code panelists, and they answer the questions. And then it usually will generate dialogue between those in the audience, where they may agree with the answer or disagree with the answer, or add other twists to the discussion point. In fact, I had a question, and it was hold on, I gotta. It was pretty controversial of a discussion. Here it is. All right, so it was my second question, I think. Maybe not my second one. I'm telling you, this one was this question dealt with a HVAC unit. Where is it? Hold on. I gotta take my computer out and get it over here where I can see what I'm looking at. Because this one generated a lot of dialogue. It wasn't the brewery. It was like a heating. Site. Line of sight. So here's what we do is we in sight. There we go, within 1/8, 1/8, 1/8. Okay. It said, is a servicing disconnect required on the side of a furnace in a house, even if it is in the same room as the panel? So what they're talking about here, Robert and others, you know how on some of these furnaces, they have that like a switch to turn the system off. And I remember this on the house over when we first got married, Bobby Joe's house over in Weirton, West Virginia. And I remember it because I forgot to turn it back on again. But in any case, there was like a light switch right there that turns off the unit. And this question said, is a servicing disconnect required on the side of a furnace in a house, even if it is in the same room as the panel? And what they are basically getting to in this discussion is the line of sight discussion, the Article 430 and 110.25. So, oh, hey, he even gave us some copper-clad aluminum. Look at that. Copper-clad aluminum right there. I thought I had another one in here. I must have left it upstairs. So, in 430, in Article 430, you have some requirements for the disconnect. Like multi-motor, combined motor, and whatnot. Nope, 430, wrong one. 430, 109, 110. Could be wrong. 104. Oh, no. 422. I'm thinking 422. Appliances. Yeah. 422.31 tells us that, a motor operated appliance is rated over 1/8 of horsepower. The disconnecting means shall comply with 430.109 and 430.110. 430.109, remember, tells you the type of disconnect that you need. 430.110 talks about the ratings, the interrupting ratings, all that jazz. For permanently connected motor operated appliances with motors rated over 1/8 of a horsepower, the disconnecting means shall be within sight from the appliance. So if I have my furnace in the same room as my panel, then I have a circuit breaker in the panel. My panel board is within sight of the furnace, so that breaker in that panel has to be capable of being locked in the open position. No, it says within sight of the appliance. So that's all it says there. And it says, or be capable. So if my furnace is in another room and I'm not within line of sight of my panel, then I would need to put a lock. I would follow 110.25. 110.25 tells me that anywhere where you have provisions where you have to be lockable in the open position, then the means to lock it have to stay in place, even though you've removed the lock. Lockable disconnecting means, it says if a disconnecting means is required to be lockable open elsewhere in this code, which this would be one of those places, it shall be capable of being locked in the open position. The provisions for locking shall remain in place with or without the lock installed. So in this case, if my furnace is in a separate room, then I would have to put provisions for that circuit breaker, or I could put a disconnect at the unit, because it says that there's an exception. If an appliance of more than 1/8 horsepower is provided with a unit switch that complies with 422.34 A, B, C, or D. 422.34 A, B, C, or D. Let's look at what that is. That is unit switches as disconnecting means a unit switch with a marked off position that is a part of an appliance and disconnects all ungrounded conductors shall be permitted as the disconnecting means required by this article where other means for disconnection are provided in occupancy specified in A through D. A is multifamily, B is two-family dwellings, C is one-family dwellings, which is what we would have here. In one-family dwellings, the service disconnecting means shall be permitted to be the other disconnecting means. So, the switch or circuit breaker serving as the other disconnecting means shall be permitted to be out of sight of the appliance. So what that's basically saying is you have three ways to address this question. One, if it's in the same room as the panel board, I'm good to go. If it's not in the same room as where I have the panel board, it's out of line of sight, then I have to put a lock, provisions to provide a lock to lock and tag out when I'm servicing it, or I can leverage the exception and have a disconnect on the unit. Yeah, and so Robert, yeah, many times the gas or utility may require that disconnect on the unit, but it has to follow those rules. It has to disconnect all, ungrounding, all that good stuff. So you have to follow those references in 430, 109, and 110. So it did generate some interesting dialogue within from our at our chapter meeting, and I just thought I would just share that question and how I answered it, and I believe I got that right. No, Nikolai Tesla. When I'm old, I'm getting a pair just like them. You like these, huh? What I like about them is they're right here. Although I went on Tuesday, I went sporting clay. I shot some sporting clay on Tuesday. I don't know if you've ever shot shotgun or sporting clay. Looking forward to another great Q&A. Tim, good. Thanks for joining in, buddy. Locking mechanism remains in place 110.25 without the lock. Yep, Robert. Many times the gas or utility. Yeah, Nikolai Tesla. I tell you, these are nice, but I like I say, I went sporting clay shooting, and you're pulling your shotgun up. I think one time I almost broke these, but I do have another set, and I just can't find them. Regular, without the around the neck thing, but they keep them right here. And I'll tell you what they are. They're called Click, C-L-I-C, not Schick, C-L-I-C. And I'm on a 1.25 number, and they have a wide. My suggestion, Nick, the way these things are here. They're kind of tight on my head. See, they're kind of tight. So I would recommend, depending upon how wide your head is, there's another one that extends these wider. I think I'm going to end up buying a set of those. But I got to go see my eye doctor. I am getting older, and now I'm actually getting better vision out there and worse vision up front. So that's weird. I don't know if that's good or bad. Anyway, all right. So Tim Kraushaar helped us answer questions. He did a great job. Tim is very thorough in his answers, and he brings a lot of history to the table. So we got to learn a little bit more about, what do they call Paul Harvey, the rest of the story. So that was a great meeting. Who else did we have? Mr. Tom Moore. Tom Moore brought a lot to the table too. So Tom is out of Ohio, and electrical inspector. He is. I don't know if he was chair or he is chair. I forget which panel he was on. He is panel. I'm gonna just look through the chairs real quick, but I think he was a code making panel chair. But Tom Moore was there and he's chair of 16, code making panel 16 during the 2020 cycle. I'm not sure if that changed in the 2023 cycle, but on the 2020 cycle, he was chair of code making panel 16. Great discussion. And if you get to go to a chapter meeting, and if you don't have chapter meetings, reach out to me. I can get you in contact with somebody at the international office. And we can tell you, I could tell you what we do to do a chapter meeting. It's not very difficult. It's just time consuming with regard to setting things up, getting a venue, curriculum. Usually if you invite somebody, they'll come and speak, or there's presentation materials from the IO. You can even get the international office involved. If you wanted to do a meeting virtually, the international office will help you as well. So if you are, and I know everybody out there is a member of the IAEI, obviously, but get involved and get out to a chapter meeting, because you can ask questions, build those relationships, get those contacts. In fact, I was just looking at some of my business cards. I got a few business cards. In fact, there's a gentleman that I met from Square D, and that's Steve Plaze. I mean, I was like, wow, I used to work with him and Randy Dollar from Siemens when we were working on the AFCI Safety Task Force. And Steve was at the West Virginia chapter meeting. Apparently, he's based out of Pittsburgh. I don't know if he was out of Pittsburgh before or not, but it's great to see familiar people and names. And when you go to those meetings, you get to build relationships. So, yeah, Nick, you're gonna have to get one of those. Michael Sullivan. Yeah, I'm telling you, I like these things. They hang real nice. I should get what do they call that? Bonus check or something. So anyway, okay. So West Virginia chapter is over. We did 2 meetings, and we do a spring and a fall. I am going to do a virtual IAEI West Virginia chapter meeting in December. We have a few people that still need some CEU credits. I'm going to plan on doing we'll give CEU credits out, but again, it depends on the state that you're in, not the state of intoxication or anything, but the physical state location that you're in. So for West Virginia people, our CEU credits will be recognized. I know Ohio requires a little bit more, so the CEUs we give out will probably not be available, will not be applicable in Ohio. They will be the IAEI certificates. So I'd invite you to check it out. If you go out to my website, I will put a notice out to let everybody know, yeah, I need royalty checks. That's what I need. I'll let you all know. I believe what we're going to probably do is finish out these questions, because the Q&A is really good, the code panel. And I'll try to get Mr. Kraushaar and Tom Moore and others involved as well. And I'd love to see if we can get another presentation from some other organization or whomever. So we'll try to bring some technical discussions, and I'm hoping to do an 8 hours. So probably 2 hours, maybe 2 in the morning, 2 in the afternoon, a few days to try to get a couple days just to get another 8 hours of CEU credits in before the end of the year. So stay tuned for that as part of the West Virginia chapter of the International Association of Electrical Inspectors. And that will be virtual. Yes, that will be virtual. And I'm doing that. West Virginia will recognize them. Some states may not. So just be mindful before you sign up for anything like that on what is accepted in your state. But we will do the Mentimeter at the beginning and in the end to track it. And we'll do 2-hour spurts. So 2 CEU credits. I think it would be 2 CEU credits. I don't know. But in any case, 2-hour spurts, so that you're not sitting all day, and probably do a morning, afternoon, 2 days in a row, or 2 days during the week. Okay, I'm going to call this one a wrap. We talked a little. We took a couple different questions. Hopefully, you learned something a little bit about copper-clad aluminum. Stay tuned for more on copper-clad for the 2023 code cycle. And stay tuned for the changes out there in the thing. Hey, Robert, maybe we can get you to do a program. Yeah, maybe we could send me an email. Let me know what you might want to talk about. That'd be fun. That would be fun. It'll all be virtual. So get a good camera, get a good microphone, and we will connect you in. All right. Well, everybody, I appreciate you dialing in. It is 1:12. I know it's not been a full hour, but hey, it's Friday and I was late. I dialed in at 12:33. And unless you guys have something you want me to chat about, I'm going to sign off for today. And I hope you have a great weekend. Stay safe this weekend. I think we're going to have a pretty good weekend. I'm going to be cutting some grass, I think, this Saturday. I'm not sure what else is going on. So thank you, Robert. Have a good one. Thanks for Mr. Tesla dialing in, Mr. Sullivan, Tim. Who else we out here? I know we had Mr. Steve Froming in the house, Gustavo. Thanks for dialing in. Thanks for joining in. Have a great weekend, Nick, and stay out of trouble. And stay safe. And please stay healthy. Until next week. I'm probably... I gotta look at my schedule. Tuesday. Can I get a Tech Tuesday in? Tuesday is the 9th. I have a NEMA Codes and Standards meeting. It doesn't look like it's going to go all day. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to think of a technical topic. Smash that like button. Thanks, Nick. Smash that like button. And you know what else? Don't forget, subscribe. Thumbs up, subscribe. And if you want to do the thumbs down, you got to hit it twice. I'm going to try to come up with a topic for a Tech Tuesday on Tuesday of next week. So stay tuned for that. I'll post that out there. Check out my website, thomasdimitrovich.com. And that's all I got to say about that. All right, everybody. Thanks. Stay safe, and please stay healthy. Thanks for what you do for the industry. Transformer backfeeds. That's right, Robert. I'll see if I can put something together on transformers. I'd like to bring a specialist in for that, too. All right, guys. Take care. Stay safe. God bless. Thanks.